Hello folks, welcome back to Introduction to Algebra. I am Mike. This is a continuation of our previous video. In the previous video we talked about one technique that we can use to factor some not quite as nice of trinomials. In this video I'm going to show you the other way. The other way that we can factor some not so nice trinomials involves some trial and error. So we're actually going to do one of the problems that we did in our previous video just so we can sort of compare the two methods. So we are once again going to factor 2x squared plus 7x plus 6. So we already know what the answer should be. We're just going to see how we actually sort of reach that point. So when we start to write our factors, we start by looking at the x's. Now, we have to multiply the x terms somehow to get 2x squared. Well, the only way that we can get 2x squared by multiplying two things that contain an x, the only way we can get 2x squared is by multiplying 2x and x. It's the only possible way. So that's nice, because we can now begin to write our terms. One term has a 2x, and the other term has an x. So that's done. Now, we need to think of two numbers that will multiply to positive 6, and we need to place them in the correct spot in order to get the desired result. And this is where the trial and error really comes in. This is where you just try factors of 6, you try placing them in spots, and you do the multiplication, and you see which one works. So, let's just think of some factors of 6. How about 6 and 1? Okay, well, let's try putting the 6 with the 2x and the 1 with the x. If I multiply those things and simplify it, I get 2x squared plus 2x plus 6x plus 6. That gives me 2x squared plus 8x plus 6, which is not quite what we want. It's close, but here it's plus 7x, not plus 8x. All right, let's try switching the places. Let's put the 1 with the 2x and the 6 with the x. And let's multiply these things. You get 2x squared plus 12x plus x plus 6. That gives me 2x squared plus 13x plus 6. That's not what we want. Okay, let's try new factors then. Let's try 3 and 2. I'll put the 3 with the 2x and the 2 with the x. That gives me 2x squared plus 4x plus 3x plus 6. And when I combine those, when I simplify that, that does give me the thing that I want. That does give me the 2x squared plus 7x plus 6. So these are the factors that we want. Now this sample was relatively nice because the number in front of our x squared here was a prime number. The only way we could get 2 is by multiplying 2 and 1. It can get more complicated though, and we'll see some problems as to how it can get more complicated. So again, we're going to factor each trinomial. We're going to use this, or we will try to factor it using the trial and error method. So 5z squared plus 12z plus 4. Okay, I'm looking at my first term here. I need two terms, each one containing a z. And the only way I can get 5z squared is to have one thing be 5z and the other one just be z. It's the only way that can possibly happen. There's no other way to multiply numbers to come up with 5. So I have 5z and then z. Now, I need numbers that will multiply to positive 4, and I have to place these things in the correct order so that I get this thing right here. So again, let's just try some factors. Let's try 1 and 4. I'll put the plus 1 with the 5z and the plus 4 with that z. And let's multiply these things out. I have 5z times z, 5z squared, plus 5z times 4, or 20z, plus 1 times z, or plus z, and then plus 4. Well, this gives me 5z squared plus 21z plus 4. That's not what I want. So that doesn't work. All right, let's try switching the places of the 1 and the 4. Let's try that. Well, that will give me 5z squared plus 5z plus 4z plus 4, or 5z squared plus 9z plus 4. Again, that's not what I want. So that doesn't work. Other factors of 4 now. How about 2 and 2? So 5z plus 2 and z plus 2. All right, I get 5z squared. 5z plus, times the 2 is 10z. 2 times z, 2z, and then 2 times 2 is 4. That gives me 5z squared plus 12z plus 4. And that is indeed what I want. So that's good. These are the factors that I want. I'll let you try the second one on your own. That one is actually not that bad, mainly because of the plus 1 here. What are the factors that multiply out to positive 1? But here's an example of where it can get to be a real pain. Let's look at 6x squared plus x minus 1. I need two factors. Obviously, they each have to contain x's. But the number in front of that x squared is a 6. That makes it a little bit more tricky because we have more than one pair of factors for 6. I have 1 and 6, but I also have 2 and 3. So there are more possibilities that I may have to try to figure out what my two factors are. But let's just start with 6 and 1, 6x and x. I need numbers that multiply to negative 1. Well, luckily, there's only two numbers that multiply to negative 1. It's negative 1 and positive 1. So I have 6x minus 1 and x plus 1. That gives me 6x squared plus 6x minus x minus 1, or 6x squared plus 5x minus 1. Okay, that doesn't work. Let's try switching the places of the plus 1 and negative 1. So I'll put plus 1 here, negative 1 there. All right, 6x times x is 6x squared. 6x times negative 1 is minus 6x. 1 times x is x. And 1 times negative 1 is minus 1. Or 6x squared minus 5x minus 1. Okay, that doesn't work either. Well, you could keep trying things, and eventually what you come to is that you need a 3x and a 2x, and you need the plus 1 here and the minus 1 here. That will give you 6x squared plus 3x minus 2x minus 1. And that gets you 6x squared plus x minus 1. So that's the one we want. And these are the factors that you want to have. So you can see how this can be kind of time-consuming and kind of tedious. You could have to go through a whole bunch of possibilities and a whole bunch of combinations only to take a lot of time to figure out which one indeed actually works. This one was even relatively nice because we only had two factors that can multiply out to minus 1. They were negative 1 and positive 1. If you try this sample right here, it'll be significantly more, there'll be significantly many more combinations that you would, in theory, have to try. You have many factors of 12, and you have a couple different sets of factors for 6. So there's lots of combinations to try there. So to summarize this section, to summarize section 5.3, which technique do I really suggest that you use? I really suggest that you use this method here, the method we talked about in our previous video, which is factoring by grouping and using the little trick. So that's it for section 5.3. In the next video, we are going to talk about some special factoring techniques. If you have questions or comments, you know how to get a hold of me, guys. Talk to me after class, office hours, tutoring hours, emails, voicemails on my office phone, rocks through windows, telegrams, signs flying on the backs of planes, whatever you need to do. Until the next video, take it easy, guys.